experience here, coming from Miami, from the bottom of the map, having to adapt to the cold. It's just been a different experience, but I love it up here. It's real cool. I really like it.
What has been the toughest adjustment for you so far?
The weather. Being from Miami, it doesn't drop below 70, so it's like coming down here, it was 1 degree a couple days ago, so it's like really the weather was just the biggest thing. But
what are your first impressions of Coach Walton?
He's a very cool, humble guy. He just wants to see everybody push themselves. He wants to push everybody to their limits and to see like what they can do.
Was that hard for you after being recruited, by Coach Combs to, then have him leave just a couple weeks after you got here?
It wasn't hard. I would say it was a big change. Like it was a big shock. Like, whoa, he's the coach that recruited me. But I feel like it's a business, and with the business, that's what happens.
So you never had any second thoughts? You feel like you're where you're supposed to be?
I love Coach Day. I want to be here.
What about Coach Day? What is it about Coach Day that made you want to play for him?
He's a very great coach. He cares about my family. During my recruitment process, he was always close with me. He always checked in on me, and I felt like he always cared about me.
Describe your game out there, Ryan. What do you do well? What do you feel like? How would you describe your game?
I'm a very physical corner, and I play with a lot of technique.
And there seems to be a need for a freshman corner to play this year. Maybe not necessarily start, but play certainly. And what are your expectations for your freshman year?
I want to play. I want to play. That's my expectations. I want to play.
You were a guy who was kind of an unheralded recruit. Does that give you kind of something to prove, an extra chip on your shoulder?
No, not really. I don't really care about rankings.
Really pay attention to that?
Rankings don't make it, so.
How does Ohio State get a guy from Florida who could have gone to a lot of schools in the South? What did Ohio State do to get you to come up here?
They recruit very well. They recruit very well, and I feel like they showed a lot of love, and I feel like I'm a very good fit for Ohio State, and they're a very good fit for me, and I want to win a natty. So I came to the school that winning the natty.
Who was the runner-up? If it wasn't Ohio State, who would it have been? Clemson?
What was it that made Ohio State ultimately the school for you? Was there a moment that you realized Ohio State's a place for me?
I came up here like 4 or 5 times. I just felt like this was home. I felt just good being in Columbus. Like, I don't know, I just felt like it was home.
Was there a different feeling being here than you had at Clemson?
No, not really. I would just say it's a good fit for me. It's a better fit than Clemson. So.
What was the first time that Ohio State even became a possibility in your head? Was it somebody contacted you, or did you just, I don't know, watch a game and think, I like this? What was the first thing?
I always loved Ohio State. It was DBU. I always loved Coach Combs. I always loved Coach Barnes. So it's like thinking about me playing for Ohio State. Even before I had the offer, I'm like, I want to go to Ohio State. I want to play with the big dogs. And when I got the offer, I'm like, I just got an offer from Ohio State. Like, it's crazy. So they were always like top 3 in my head. So.
When you say DBU, who are the guys that pop to mind? The guys that have been here at Ohio State?
Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple, Von Bell. He's going to the Super Bowl. Hope they win. Guys like that.
Okay, and so that is a factor, right?
Yeah.
When in your recruiting, you'd want to go to a place where guys at your position have had success. Mm-hmm. How important is that in your decision?
I feel like that's very important, having that that coach them was here.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was very important because I feel like he developed them and he coached them very well to where they are at today.
Who offered first, Clemson or Ohio State?
Clemson.
So was that the first really big? I know you had some good offers, but was that the first really big one? And then Ohio State was like, you looked at that as the one.
Yeah, Clemson, like they offered me, and then my recruitment just took off.